It's often useful to twist a design so that it lies horizontally across the drawing editor. The reason for that is if I go into the layout view here and we zoom extends, can you see we're looking at a sheet with an eccentrically placed plan, and it would look a little nicer, I think, if the plan was squared off with the paper. It's easy to do, and for that the rotate command can be used to rotate all of the elements in the design just a small amount. We'd like the drawing to be squared off with the building itself. So we need to find a line in the building that gives us the sort of orientation that we want. And I'm looking and looking and looking. One could assume that this boundary through here is indeed squared off with the building, although again I'm not so sure. This line through here looks exactly the line we want. And if we look over here in the properties box, you can see its angle is 354. So we need to rotate the drawing by 6 degrees to square things up. So let's zoom extents first. And it's a useful thing to do because as I roll out a little, you can see all the construction lines that are there. There's another line way out here to the left. So we want to make sure that we get all the entities in the drawing if we're going to use the rotate command to square things off. And for that I'll say Tools and Selection and select all. Not quite sure whether Control A shortcut would work there, but we can try that later. So everything has been selected. So now we'll issue the Modify and Rotate command. Here we are. Could have found it from the right mouse click. We're asked for a base point. In this case we'll type 0, 0, and for a rotation angle we want to bring everything up by 6 degrees. I'll put 6.00 just in case there is a problem with a tiny variation on that angle. So now things look a lot squarer. The edge of the building is now squared off. Some of this hatching through here looks to me a little strange, but I'm going to show you a way of dealing with that hatching later on. You can see that bit of hatching there is in fact a solid, which is a rather old-fashioned way of hatching. So we'll look at that in a little while. But I digress. What we want to show here is, as we now go to the plan view, you can see there's the layout. I'll double click in here and just reposition my layout box to sit over. We won't take the whole site here. This is just in fact it will be the rear of the house. So presumably entrance is through here to a parking area, and so we're now displaying the whole design. So now display on the layout, right click and deactivate the viewport, and it sits there. So we could at this stage just select that viewport and look over here and see the view scale. So it's been set at a scale of 1 to 50, which is excellent. And the next thing we might do is to bring in a scale bar. And we could do that via Library and Details. And if we scroll down, there are some scale markers, scale bars. And we'll take 5 meter scale bar number 2, open it up. It's already in the drawing, in fact. Do we want to redefine it? Yes, we do. And we'll insert it in and pop it down there. So it sits in position, everything's nicely squared off. When we go here, we should see the scale bar. So you can see I need to go back and reposition things and perhaps move it down here. I won't bother doing that at the moment because it's going to depend very much on how we use a title block, how we put a logo in, and so on. So the take-home lesson there is the rotate command. Selecting all and rotate can be a useful tool to square things up.